This is the second algebra section, okay, from your review, problem number 1. Looking at these 4 answers, I can see that what I'm going to have to do is match one of them, but they're not all in consistent format. I like it where it's in y equals mx plus b form, but even before I solve, I'm noticing that the y's and the x's are rearranged depending on the problem, and so what I'm going to do, so that I don't get confused, is make this negative 4x plus 3y, so I'm just using the commutative property, is greater than or equal to 4. This is going to be 4x minus 3y is greater than or equal to 4. You'll notice they're very, very similar. This needs to be reversed. I want my x first. Negative 4x plus 3y is less than or equal to 4, and this one's fine. So 4x minus 3y is less than or equal to 4. So looking at these, what I'm going to need to do is isolate y in each of those, and it's going to be kind of a slightly long process, but it's not that big a deal. I'm just going to start with A. Negative 4x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 4. You're trying to isolate y, so the first thing is you're going to add 4x to both sides. So 3y is greater than or equal to 4x plus 4, and divide all 3 terms by 3. So y is greater than or equal to 4 thirds x plus 4 thirds. Okay? Y greater than equal to 4 thirds x plus 4 thirds. Okay? All right. Erasing this one, moving to the next one, and I'm just going to do them quickly. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. You can figure it out after this. The big thing to remember is that when you're isolating y and it's an inequality, anytime you divide by a negative, you have got to flip the inequality to the other side. Okay, so here we go. Notice. Okay, this is the big deal that I'm talking about. Here, it flips the inequality the other way. Just about the same process. Not dividing by a negative, don't flip. Okay, so that becomes last one. Here's another one, dividing by a negative. So you flip it. Now these look so very similar that it's going to be important while you're looking at these that we look at this piece by piece. First of all, that is B. B is where it crosses the y-axis. So in y equals mx plus b form, you're looking for something that crosses at somewhere over about 1, little bit bigger than 1. 4 thirds is about 1, is exactly 1 1/3. That's a positive 4 thirds, so that one's okay. But look, this one's negative 4 thirds, which means this one crosses below the x-axis, which means it's not B. Okay? And then you've got, let's see, 4 thirds x, that's a positive 4 thirds, so that one is okay. But D is also negative, which means below the x-axis, which means it doesn't match with this. Okay, now you've got to look at slope. The two slopes are the same, so this is the thing to remember. If you have y is greater than or equal to mx plus b, here's how you can interpret it, even without using test points. This means the line, okay, this either means is above, if it's greater than, or below. And this, all of the junk over here, is the shading. Okay, so the line is greater than the shading or less than the shading. So if you look at these questions, y is greater than 4/3 x plus 4/3, that's saying the line is greater than the shading. In other words, the line is above the shading. Is that true? No, the line is actually at the bottom of the shading in the picture. So that's not the answer. So, yeah. So if you look at C, that says that the line is below all the shading, which is what you're seeing in there. So the answer is, in fact, C. So looking to the next question, and this one is kind of hard to see, and so I would advise that you ask your teacher for a better copy of this, because in the blue it is hard to see. But basically, it's the same thing. There's a lot of text here, but it's saying that the salesman has this car dealership and they get a commission, and it gives you the two equations. One of them, it's 5p plus 5s is greater than or equal to 2,500, and the other one is 8p plus 3s is less than 3,000. Okay, and so P means passenger cars, the number of passenger cars sold. S means the number of SUVs sold. And those are the equations, and it's asking you if those are the equations. Looking at the graph, where would you shade? And so take a look at that, try to answer that question, and check it with your teacher. Good luck.